trophied up. Yeah. Hey, do yo. Trophied up. Yeah. Hey, do yo. Trophied up. Yo, dance when the G's up. G. Spaced out, got me geeked up. 10 toes on the west, cannot beat us. You cannot. Shining every time they meet us. Rack 'em up, since 96. Been number one in LA, something slight, that's the gist.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talkin Galaxy. Today, I'm joined by Galaxy Runs LA. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. I mean, yesterday we got to see this ultimate hate watch, Griffin Chelsea. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. I mean, obviously Galaxy could be doing better, but overall doing pretty good.
It's the one-time exception you can wear a Chelsea kit on this
I know.
podcast. I was debating
For
where.
Griffin.
Yeah, I know. Griffin. Oh man, there's a lot of Galaxy Chelsea fans. Like, okay, I feel like when it comes to the Premier League, I would say Manchester United are probably most like close to the LA Galaxy in terms of history. But I feel like the Galaxy fans tend to lean towards more towards Chelsea, and I'm not saying that biasly because I'm a Liverpool fan. Correct me if I'm wrong, but low-key, that's what I feel like. Well, do you
I
notice
mean,
that?
like their glory days were a while back. So I mean, when people started watching soccer, that's probably like around when Chelsea was at the prime. So I guess that does make sense. Yeah. Obviously, I'm West Ham, up the Hammers.
Yeah, West Ham, and I'm Liverpool, so we definitely went, and you're Barca, but I also became a Leverkusen fan before it became bandwagon.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Just like they all say, right? Nah, it was Leverkusen. I've been liking Leverkusen since 2020 when Kai Havertz came up through them, but let's get into the actual Galaxy stuff here. First of all, we'll start with bits of news before we go into the St. Louis game. Marco Reus was back for this match. Do you want to go into the injury a bit here, Tab?
Yeah, so he was out for a couple of games. I'm pretty sure something in his groin area. And so he came out like halfway through the San Jose game, and he was out for the following game against where we played, but he was out for that full game, and then he made his appearance at the previous game for St. Louis. So we obviously had that like 1.5 week breaks in between. So he got well in between there, and I mean he showed hasn't missed a beat, so that's good for him.
I was a bit worried this was going to kill Marco Reus' momentum that he built after the injury, is that this was going to slow him down a bit, maybe have him come off of the bench. But they did a very good job at managing Marco Reus' minutes. And I think that's something that the Galaxy have to focus on going forward right now, is the fact that Marco Reus probably needs to have his minutes conserved. He can't go 90 throughout the course of the season. Marco Reus needs to come off of the bench some games. He needs to be rotated in and out. He can't start every single match. And when he does, it leads to these type of injuries. So I'm excited to see Marco Reus back in the fold for the LA Galaxy, and we will go over his performance in this match as well. You know what? We're going to transition to this as well. While we're on a Marco Reus topic, we got a Shapeshifters Marco Reus card. Marco Reus received the Shapeshifters card from EAFC 25. Have you used this card yet?
I haven't. I mean, when he first dropped, he was like 300K. I'm like, oh, I need this for my past and present Galaxy team, but like I just don't have the coins to spend. So I was hoping I should get him from like rewards, just spamming packs, but I haven't yet. So I think I'm gonna have to drop the 200K on him. But definitely well worth it.
Marco Reus. Okay, so basically I played Foot Champs and I got Marco Reus for out of my picks. I didn't do well. I ended up getting like 7 wins because my team's terrible right now. And I was I need to be a bit more serious. I had like Kevin Cabral starting at left wing for me, but he has a fun little Eva. But I had Marco Reus. I've tried him out. This card is not that good. We're talking about him now.
Really?
I'm going to be honest. I'm not impressed with this card. Maybe it's something that I'm doing. Maybe I'm the issue. Certainly could be a thing. But I have other cards that perform just fine. The Ricky Puig card. I know we talked about Ricky Puig getting a Team of the Season card. He's been good. He's been good, but Marco Reus is, I don't know. The center mid thing, I'm not used to it. And anytime you want to run back that friendly Towers.
I need my rematch.
Yeah,
You're getting cooked next time. I mean, the MLS content creators, been doing a FIFA tournament or EFC. I'm in the semis right now.
Really?
And we're using like our team semis in Galaxy and just in like online friendlies. I mean, it's so bad. We got no one, and then I just pace abuse Peck and Paints on the wing, and that's how I get my goals.
I used to actually well, first of all, I ran a FIFA Pro Clubs league for a couple of years on Xbox, and then I played in the PlayStation 1 Liga G. But I also ran an MLS one. I also ran an MLS FIFA league, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but it was back when I was really bad at FIFA, and I low-key fell off. FIFA 22, I was in my prime, but like FIFA 25, I'm like, oh my days, I'm like, we're not getting a trim review. It's the same trim. It's the same trim. It's not because the trim's messed up. I just got this Dodgers hat today, so I'm trying to make some use out of my Dodgers hat before. Anyway, so Marco Royce gets a card. Tabbers, we're gonna have to run that rematch back in FIFA. We played 2 matches, and I got 2 very scrappy wins. And yeah, we're gonna have to see how those things go. Next up, Diego Fagundes. Before we go into the match against St. Louis, Diego Fagundes. Do you want to go into his injury tab?
Yeah, so it's in the San Jose game. I'm pretty sure, again, he said Preston Judd kind of followed through on a tackle, and he like partially fractured his foot, and he didn't realize it till training, and he's like, I feel like where when I kick it. So I did a little research into it, done some scans, and turns out he had a slightly fractured bone in his foot, so he's out for a couple weeks. Highly unlikely he probably plays. Actually, it's probably good for the next game because you don't play for another like week and a half. So I'm assuming Fagundes should be good by then, but obviously we missed him in St. Louis.
I think Diego Fagundes will end up, being just fine. Greg Vanney made it seem like it wasn't anything that was going to keep him out an extended period of time. So it does seem like Diego Fagundes will be back in the fold, like you said, probably around the Colorado game. Seems like a good target for the LA Galaxy to go for. I think Diego Fagundes, he could use a break. I mean, he's been going full 90s too. You look at the injuries to Marco Royce and Diego Fagundes, and then you kind of line it up to the amount of minutes they've received. And these aren't that crazy of things to see these players be suffering injuries when they're taking on as much minutes as they are. Right now, Diego Fagundes slightly fractured, a couple bones in his foot, but he should be back. He should be back in no time, but he was out for this match, probably playing it precautionary. Played that whole RSL game on it then, if you think about that. And I thought he played fine against Real Salt Lake. But Diego Fagundes, partially fractured foot. Let's get right into the mix of things now. We talked about Diego Fagundes. We talked about Marco Royce. Diego Fagundes was out for this match. A bit of a surprise when I saw the injury list. Kind of popped out. Miguel Berry was also out for this match. Do you want to talk to me about the Miguel?
Yeah, we had a funny situation. So this was at the San Jose game. Me and Payne went together. We were walking up to Galaxy Park, and we see Miguel Berry and one of the trainers walk out to the practice fields. And obviously, we're like, "Oh, can you get a picture?" And he took a picture with us. And then after, Payne asks, "Are you injured?" And he's like, "Oh, I can't say, I can't say." And him being on this list now, it proves a point that he is injured. So it's been going on for a couple weeks. Obviously, he was in the squad for RSL, I believe, right? Was he in the squad?
No. Actually, he wasn't. That was the game we saw him. Yeah.
We saw him San Jose, no? Yeah, it was San Jose
Oh
because it
yeah.
was the midweek.
I don't think he was in the match for. I don't
Yeah,
think
so
he was in the match.
he's been out for a couple weeks now. So this is obviously something that's pretty serious that's keeping him out. So hopefully he gets well. Obviously, the rise of Nascimento has came, so it's not like he's gonna get any minutes. But I mean, unfortunate to see him pick up an injury.
The way you know what he said, I don't know. Maybe I was tweaking out. I thought that Miguel Berry said, "Coach didn't tell me." Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he say that?
I thought you say couldn't say just
Okay.
because like PR, media training.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's probably right. That's probably about right. What I interpreted it as, and why I was a bit more surprised, is the fact that I thought Miguel Berry said, I can't tell you. Like, coach didn't even tell me."
I guess
That's
you
what
can see it like that.
Yeah. But then I guess in that case, why'd you even be practicing? Like, just probably just chill in one of the stands. Like, you don't even have to be practicing. But yeah, he was listed for injury for this match. So you're Your story lines up a bit more with the whole injury thing, unless the Galaxy are making something up,
It's
which
a
I don't.
cover up.
Yeah, it's a big cover up. It's the Miguel Berry. It's the Miguel Berry scandal 2025.
Yeah.
Um, the LA Galaxy. Let's talk about the LA Galaxy here. The LA Galaxy drew 2-2, 3-3. Sorry, we got the.
Oh,
We just
that's on me. That's on me. I made this like a couple minutes ago because I was posting for the game.
The Galaxy draw 3-3 at St. Louis City SC. We lost the home match against them this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was
3-1.
3-1, 3-1. The LA Galaxy got blown out at home, but they draw 3-3 on the road. Without going into this match too much, what was some of your takeaways from this?
Obviously, Nascimento, I thought he did really good. Royce did it great. And I thought Peck did pretty good as well. And Peyton Stolt was not good at all. I mean, so starting with Royce, he was kind of our creativity outlet going forward. He also had that fantastic assist to Nascimento. And he's always just pulling the strings. That's kind of like what we need him to do. And now he's like doing it. So that's really good to see him doing that. Nascimento gets a goal. He's been pretty lively the past couple of matches. And this brings up the question. Nascimento has been in the squad for the whole season, and he hasn't started playing since 2, 3 games ago. I don't know if Vanny's seen something different in him or what, because I don't know how he's not playing over Miguel Berry earlier in the season, because he's actually insane.
I believe that Nascimento was probably injured when he first came to Los Angeles, which is why he was training to the side and he didn't start matches immediately. I think when he first came to LA Galaxy, he was injured. He was nursing an injury, and I think Greg Vanney wanted to wait, and make sure that he was 100%, and it gave him more time to learn the system. Now I think you're saying that, it's a fair question to ask is, if Nascimento came in earlier for the LA Galaxy, could this season have been a bit different? Would we not be on 8 points right now? It could certainly be a question when you had Miguel Berry up top for some of these matches. So I certainly see that perspective of it. I think Nascimento has been a baller. And we'll talk about him individually. Right now, we're just kind of going over brief points for this match. I think Marco Royce didn't miss a beat. We talked about his injury. I was a bit surprised that he came back. This might be his best game in a Galaxy jersey. Would you agree or disagree with
I
that?
agree. Yeah, I mean, he did everything right there. Didn't put 1 foot wrong.
I thought he was very good in the LAFC match this season. Last year, the Atlanta and LAFC match. Maybe he's becoming a bit of an LAFC killer here. But I thought Marco Royce is brilliant. This was like vintage Marco Royce. This was something that you wanted to see out of him. You hadn't seen it. You hadn't seen it until probably about a quarter of the way through the season. Marco Royce has been the Galaxy's best player this year. And I know that doesn't mean much coming from an 8-point team, but he's been brilliant. Look at that back. Look at the pass on that second goal, on the Nascimento goal. That was ridiculous. That pass was unreal. Royce was great. Nascimento's great. But I want to give a shout to Novak Mitrovic. It's weird to say in a match where a goalkeeper concedes 3 that they were good. But I thought Novak Mitrovic had a great match. St. Louis could have had 5. St. Louis could have had 5 or 6 goals in this match. And they didn't. But let's go into something here. St. Louis got on the board first. Joao Klaus had a hat trick in this match. First hat trick in St. Louis SC history.
Oh,
And we're making all sorts of records, but let's talk about this. And I know you have some very strong feelings on this.
yeah. I mean, Payne still obviously you can see he's right there. I mean, I think a confident Payne still shoots at himself. He obviously sees a pass to Nascimento, and I mean, I don't know how you mess up that pass. I think in the video you see Nascimento kind of pull up a little bit, assuming that JP might be taking the shot, but like you guys gotta play that ball. I mean, it's too far in front of him, and he obviously misses it. But Galaxy last season scoring that 10 times out of 10, and this season it's looking more like 2 times out of 10. And obviously, this is one of the times we didn't score, so it's unfortunate. Obviously, this would have changed the game. We would have had 3 points, and then we would be drawn closer to St. Louis because they were they were 7 points ahead of us before the game started, I believe.
Yeah.
So this could have been a real like changer for the whole like motivation if we got this goal. Because at this point it was 1-0 them, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so crazy. I mean, we should be scoring, and then obviously it spirals.
Joseph Paintsil, you are an Al Halal. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe what I've seen. That this is inexcusable. There is a point to be made that Nascimento slows his run a bit when this pass is made. I agree a bit with that. That being said, this ball is played too far forward regardless. I don't, unless Joseph Paintsil thinks that he's passing to himself, because only Joseph Paintsil would be able to have the speed to get on the end of that. But he's the one passing the ball. It's weighted too heavy. And it ends up going wider and wider, and Nascimento's unable to get on the end of it and connect and bury it into what should have been an automatic goal. There's a point made on the broadcast that this doesn't show up on the XG. This should be like a 0.99 on XG, because 99% of teams score this. Like 90, this is not a question. This is an LA Galaxy thing. If you need a picture to summarize how this season's going, it's this. It's unbelievable. And that would have been Nascimento's first goal, and he would have had a brace in this match. And it's really disappointing. Joseph Paintsil, are we starting to be worried? Because he has one goal this year. Obviously, it came in the win against Real Salt Lake. But given his form last year, to have one goal through 18 games as a designated player for the LA Galaxy has to bring some concern.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it is. He's been kind of struggling with minutes, obviously, with his injuries and all. But he's a DP. He reminds me of like a Kevin Cabral. He's just unlucky. Like his finishing is pretty bad. I mean, I'm not gonna like hide away from the facts. Like we've seen last season that sometimes his finishing can be pretty poor, and he loves that finish onto the far corner, and it's either perfectly in the corner or it's wide. There's no in between, and it sucks because if he's on his game and we have Peck on the other wing, like we're actually unstoppable. And it's speaking of his song, no, Unbreakable, not unstoppable. Never mind, scratch that. But it's yeah, I mean it's worrying. If this continues, I don't even know what to say because we need him to be good. We need him and Peck to be creative and be our outlets to break on the attack. And right now we just have Peck, and obviously he had a great game. But Painsil, he needs to step up his game, especially being a DP.
Yeah. Joseph Paintsil, he has so much speed. The breakaway was on. This started out of the back, and the Galaxy got here in like 3 seconds from our own third because Joseph Paintsil's pace carried us all the way here. He was wide open. Defensively, it was a complete meltdown by St. Louis to let Joseph Paintsil roam that wide open. Nobody in the world can catch Joseph Paintsil in that situation. You know, I know you say Kevin Cabral. I think Kevin Cabral actually gets this right here.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Cabral gets this right. And by the way, we're still waiting for the statue outside the stadium for Kevin Cabral there. But it's just, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because it's like, how in the world can you, like, I think if it was me and you at Galaxy Park right there,
We're scoring that. Obviously, you're going to be Painsil because he got the pace. He'll be bursting down the wing.
It's just, it encapsulates everything that's been going on this season for the LA Galaxy. It's ridiculous, and it's inexcusable. Berkey was beat. The Galaxy played very well on the counter. They played like an away team this match, and sometimes we're best on the counter. When we have possession, things can get too dry and too stale, and the Galaxy sometimes look like they don't know what they're doing going forward, even though they have the ball. They're not direct enough to make any decent progress going forward. When they're on the counterattack, it almost plays into your favor, which is why we've statistically, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we have almost as many away points, if not more, than we have home points. Because the Galaxy are more, they're more accustomed to play possession, but they almost play better in a counterattack because you have Joseph Paintsil's pace, you have Peck's flair, you have Nascimento to finish it up top, and you have Marco Reus who's able to station himself in a position to cause some danger. but the LA Galaxy do not miss, or they do not make this chance. One that, if it was, if the calendar just said 2024, this is going in the back of the net. But enough harping on this. Let's talk about Gabriel Peck. Let's start to talk about some positives from the LA Galaxy in this match. Gabriel Peck, who was struggling this year, had 1 goal through 17 matches, and in this game had more goals than he had all of the season through the midway point in this one match. His best game. It goes without saying. The stat just tells you it's been his best game. And how would you assess his performance?
Yeah, obviously start off pretty poor. He had that chance like the first minute where he shot right at Berkey. Speaking of Berkey, I mean that guy's actually insane. Obviously this game he wasn't as good as like previous times we played him. Like the home leg from this season, he kept that game
Yeah.
in St. Louis's hands. And he's done that every season since he played us. And this game he stops that chance, and that's another chance that could put us in the lead and we could have won that game. So I mean Berkey, money well spent for him. And speaking more about Peck though, I mean he's showing his like points of flair that he saw last season that we all love and we all adore him for. And he talked about it in his pre-match press conference before the game. Galaxy did 11v11 scrimmage and he scored 2 goals in that. He posted on his Instagram if anyone saw those, and they're pretty nice goals. One was a finesse into the top left, has like my Evo pack in FIFA, but I mean, hope it carried over. He wasn't lying. He is back, and hopefully he continues that into Colorado next week.
I always get a bit weary when players put out messages like that, like I'm back before the match has even started, and you have 1 goal through 17 games. So I always become a bit hesitant when I see that. I'm like, okay, let's let this play out, and then you could talk after the game. But he backed it up. He backed it up. Give him his round of applause, give him his flowers. Gabriel Peck did what he said. He's back. He was brilliant in this game. Let's go through the scoreline here. First of all, St. Louis City FC opened the scoring, and then quickly Gabriel Peck opened with the first goal of the game for the Galaxy. Out of halftime, almost immediately out of halftime, Joao Klaus scores again, and you're like, okay, this is getting a bit ridiculous. And then Royce has that nasty pass, the Nasty Nas, which is now his official nickname.
Okay, about that.
Okay, good.
No one's ever called him Nasty Nas except that commentator. And I feel like Nasty Nas it's a little off. I'm not sure if anyone else thinks that in the chat, but I feel like we got to come up with a better nickname than Nasty Nas.
I dig it though. I
kind of dig it.
Yeah, obviously has the connection to the rapper Nas. And he was called Nasty Nas, and I think that this, he's nasty with it. He's nasty with it. He has that. I like it. I like him a lot. I like what he's done, and he's playing nasty. So I like it. I like the Nasty Nas nickname. Nas times
What about Lil Nas?
Lil Nas X. Yeah.
I don't know if we compare him to him.
Wait. Okay. Because of Lil Nas G then? Because he's a G?
Okay.
No, we're not. Nas just works. We got to be serious. And Nasty Nas is a perfect nickname for this match, or for this man. I love Nascimento ball right now. I'm having the time of my life. Anyway, back to Joseph Paint. Back to Gabriel Peck. Peck was excellent. This is the shot selection he wanted. I've been critical of Gabriel Peck this season because I feel like his shots last year, he had very good placement. Let's be honest. He was not taking powerful shots last year. It was about placement. It was about accuracy. This year, he had neither. This year, he was passing it straight to the goalkeeper. He would be in perfect scoring position, and Gabriel Peck would just slide it. If this was Peck a couple games ago, he slides both of his goals right to Berkey's hands.
Like the first shot.
Yeah, absolutely. This is vintage Gabriel Peck. This is the Peck that we were waiting for. This was the Peck that we wanted to see all along. And he's back. I believe he's back now. Do you believe he's back?
I sure hope so, because we need him back. I'd like to think so as well, though.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what it is about the summer for Gabriel Peck, but once that summertime hits in Los Angeles, as soon as he could hit the beaches, he is here. He hit his form. He hit this form last summer. That's when he really started making a name for himself in Major League Soccer. Was last summer, and he's back and he's doing it again. He's doing it again for the LA Galaxy. So I think he's been absolutely brilliant in this match, but it's something you want to see him continue throughout the course of the season, not just a one match thing. He needs to actually be back. But if the Galaxy start to we'll talk about playoffs later. If the Galaxy climb back this season and start stringing together some wins, it's because of this guy. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I think if Galaxy really start turning things around, we need Pencil as well. Looks like Peck's getting his form back. We need Pencil as well. And if we don't get Pencil, it might be a rough second half of the season. Because at the start of the season, we had only Peck, and that did not end well. And now, since Pencil's been back, it's obviously been better. But if he doesn't step up, we could just see a repeat of the first half of the season with very low points, very few goals scored, and consider defense a lot more conceded.
Yeah. I think the LA Galaxy's success this season relies on Gabriel Peck hitting the form that we wanted him to be in at the start of this year. If the LA Galaxy want to start stringing together some wins, we will talk about playoffs later. But if we want to start stringing together some wins and climb out of last place, this guy's the reason why. He will absolutely dictate how far the Galaxy go this year in terms of wins. Obviously, it might be a little too late for the playoffs thing, but let's talk about Nasty Nas now. He was incredible. He got his first goal for the LA Galaxy. He got his first assist against Real Salt Lake, and he's a man in form. He's a man in. Yep, there we go. Hit the celly. He is a man in form for the LA Galaxy right now. I love what he's doing. How would you assess his performances?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the past few games, that's where he's kind of shown himself that we all hoped that he would have been at the start. Obviously, he came in with that injury, and he kind of had a slow start. He was starting games over him, and now that he's playing, I think that he's just gained all his confidence, and it's showing. Yeah, that was an incredible first time finish on his weak foot, by the way, from Ruiz. Not enough people talk about that because the assist was so fantastic, but that finish, speaking, Berkey's in net, and he's scoring that on his weak foot first time. That's crazy. So props to him for that shot that I haven't been hearing much of, and I'm excited. Obviously, I think he's a number 9 going forward, even though Ramirez is our top scorer with 4 goals. But he brings a different personality, a different vibe than Ramirez. When Ramirez came on in this game, I thought he's pretty poor. He seemed lethargic, slow, clunky, and Nascimento brings this flair, and he's quick, he's agile. That's something I think we need because when we break, we need someone to kind of get us out of pressure because he's also a pretty big guy. I think he's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
So he can play that hold up role, and he can also spin in behind, and he has a pace, and he kept it with Pencil. So he's got everything we need, I think, and I think that he continues to do good.
He gives me shades of 2021 Dejan Joveljic. I think everything that he brings to the table for the LA Galaxy is exactly what we needed. Christian Ramirez held it down to start the season, but Nascimento is our starter going forward. Like you said, he has pace. He has an underlying pace. He doesn't have Pencil speed, but with his height, it's a blistering pace. For a guy who has aerial capabilities for his height, he can keep up with Joseph Paintsil. He did keep up with Joseph Paintsil. I think he's been excellent for the LA Galaxy in recent matches. This has been his best form. This is the man that we wanted when he first came in. When he first came into the LA Galaxy, he was getting scraps of minutes off the bench, and we were like, maybe he's just not doing good in training. Maybe he's just not doing great in training right now. No, this is Matthias Nascimento. This man is our starting striker for the rest of the season. Call me reactionary, and I want your opinion on this as well. If he continues to play like this, I have no issue triggering the buy-in option and making him it depends on the price, but I think the price isn't going to be that high. I think it's already set amount by Botafogo. And I think if he keeps playing like this over the next, over the course of the rest of the season, if he keeps playing like this, I have no issue triggering the buy on option. Do you agree?
Yeah, we don't know any of the details. I think if I recall correctly, that the reason this deal took so long to like fall into place was Botafogo was trying to get the buyout clause like permanent, like that they had to buy him out
Yeah.
after the loan was over. So obviously, there's no details on what the like buyout clause is set at, or what the like goals are to reach if he does need to uh, get the buyout, like what are the requirements. So we don't know any of those details. If we do, we'll be posting about those. But I don't see why we don't buy him if he continues this form.
I totally agree with you. I think if Matthias Nascimento continues this form going into the next couple of matches, I'm comfortable with him being the starting striker for the 2026 LA Galaxy. I think a healthy attack of Ricky Puig, Joseph Paintel, Nascimento, and Gabriel Peck will cook. I think that will do numbers. I'm so excited to see Ricky play with Nascimento because seeing Marco Royce play with him is brilliant. And actually talked to Jody about this point before, is the fact that when Marco Royce and Ricky Puig are sharing a midfield and we have Edwin Cerrillo in there, let's just say for argument's sake, Lucas Sanabria gets dropped when Ricky comes back, because somebody will get dropped when Ricky comes back, because you can't drop Marco Royce in the form he's in if he's still in it by then or healthy, which is a huge if. But our strongest lineup might be the lineup that we played a lot last season, at least in the midfield, with Marco Royce, Ricky Puig, and Edwin Cerrillo. You're going to have that midfield three back. I know we've been missing Mark Delgado a lot, but if Ricky Puig, Marco Royce, and Edwin Cerrillo, and then Sanabria can come off the bench, it's going to benefit this attack so well. Could you imagine how many goals Nascimento would have if he had a full season of Ricky Puig and Marco Royce playing at this level?
He would have so many. He might be in contention for a Golden Boot. And yeah, if you're a Galaxy 9 and you got Ricky behind you and Peck and Pencil on the wings, and a good Pencil, I mean, you should be the Golden Boot winner 9 times out of 10 in a season.
Oh yeah. He can reach Dejan Joveljic levels, in my opinion. I have no doubt in my mind that he can. When he came over to the Galaxy, I was a bit concerned about his goal scoring track record because it wasn't polished, but he's only 21. He's only 21, coming from Botafogo, who are a huge club in Brazil. And if you've been watching the Club World Cup, I only watched one match, and it's the one of the jersey you have going on. Just a nice little hate watch. Brazilian teams are doing numbers. Brazilian teams, South American teams are doing numbers in this tournament on European teams. So
they got nothing to lose. These Brazilian teams, this is where they show their talent. This is where people get their big time moves. We saw this with Neymar Santos early on in his career. He played really good in the Club World Cup, made his move to Barcelona. And this is the same thing. Obviously, coming from Botafogo, and Igor Jesus, who's their starting 9, and he was really good. So that's why Nascimento was getting minutes. He's proven that he can do it starting at the 9, and I think he continues that. I hope he does.
Yeah, it kind of also, on an unrelated topic, kind of raises what I thought of Brazilian clubs in terms of European comparison. Because right now, I'm low-key seeing the Brazilian league up there with like the Portuguese league, or the Eredivisie. Like it's actually up there, and this is where talent goes through, and Nascimento is one of those. Nascimento can absolutely use the LA Galaxy in Major League Soccer as a launch pad to Europe. Dejan Joveljic was expected to go down that path, but when the right money comes, and his value not being as high as we kind of expected it to be with an expiring contract for the LA Galaxy, he will probably end up making a move to Europe in general. I know Evander was through the interleague trade system, and Evander's linked to Europe right now. Nascimento is a guy who can use a European move through the LA Galaxy, through getting these consistent minutes. And this is the man that we wanted. He's a penned-in starter. Make no mistake, he is a penned-in starter now for the LA Galaxy, and I'm so excited to see where his future takes him. And we're now going to field questions from the chat. So send your questions in the chat if you have them for Tabor, myself. And you want quick plug yourself. Give a quick plug real quick.
Oh yeah, Galaxy Renzile over on TikTok, Instagram, and then on X as well.
I am LA Galaxy _Buzz on Instagram or Florian Wirtz Pong on TikTok. Make sure to follow over there as well. Gold Cup predictions. Go ahead.
It's tough. I mean, the top dogs, obviously USA and Mexico. USA thrashed Trinidad and Tobago. And Mexico, they kind of struggle against Dominican Republic, but I mean, Mexico, it's always gonna be a final between Mexico, USA, and Canada. I think Canada plays there tonight. They're probably playing right now, actually. I'm not sure the score. And then the other, like, I guess, powerhouse is Jamaica, and they lost at the Dignity Health Sports Park yesterday. So I mean, it's always gonna be Canada, USA, Mexico. So we'll see how it ends up. It also depends on how the bracket's set.
I can't say the final once again because, like you said, the bracket's not set yet. If I had to guess, I think it's going to be a Canada-Mexico final. I think it's going to
And
be.
then we'll just send the check hands up 2-0 over Honduras.
Okay. Yeah, I think Canada will get it done. I think Canada will get it done right now. They look like the hottest team in CONCACAF. I know we've said that before, and it hasn't lined up to what it should be with Canada national team, but the U.S. is in shambles. If you want to talk about something, I think Christian Pulisic's decision to sit this one out, creating a lot of controversy, was a very bad one. Just a quick unrelated question. Do you see Christian Pulisic going down the same national team path as maybe Carlos Vela did, or do you think he'll always just be the star boy of the U.S. men's national team? Or is
I think he's
this
gonna be a star boy.
okay?
Yeah, I was watching a Unfiltered podcast today, and they're kind of talking about how Pulisic wasn't brought into the camp, and it was Pochettino's decision.
Yeah,
It was because Pulisic only wanted to play the two friendly games versus, was it Serbia and Switzerland?
yeah,
So he only wanted to play those two games, and Pochettino's like, no, you're staying out for the whole time. So that's kind of what the controversy started. So Pochettino is obviously back in Pulisic, and yeah, because Pulisic wanted to come in, and a lot of people are hating on him because people thought it was his decision, but it seemed like it was Pochettino's.
yeah. I think it's certainly a worry if the relationship continues to fracture. I think when it comes to a player Christian Pulisic's caliber, you're always expecting them, even for two friendly matches, for Christian Pulisic to be playing in those. I don't entirely buy the thing that his body needed rest or whatever, considering that you wanted to play the two friendly matches. That doesn't quite line up to me. But I think you have to show up for the Gold Cup. So he is receiving criticism that he should. Let's answer two questions in one right now. Best chance at a cup is the Campeones Cup. So what is your Campeones Cup prediction?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Obviously, I think by the time Campeones Cup comes around, we'll have Ricky back because I think it's set around end of
Late,
August.
late September.
Oh, it's September, so even better. So we should have a fully fit Ricky, and hopefully he's got some minutes under his belt, and we take down either Club America or Toluca. Yeah, Toluca.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good one. Obviously, it's gonna be at Dignity Health Sports Park, so we're gonna have the fans. And if Club America is in the final, obviously one side's gonna be all yellow, and hopefully, yeah, I'm hoping it's Toluca. I mean, Toluca's kind of burst onto the scene recently with Alexis Vega, so it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the Campeones de Campeón is played at Dignity Health Sports Park as well, coming up in August, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's where Club America and Toluca will play, and then a month later they play us.
I think we end up playing Toluca. If Club America is in the form that they showed in the qualifying match for the Club World Cup, that would be a very winnable match if they're playing like they played against LAFC. If we play Toluca, I don't honestly, if I had to put a score prediction right, if I had to pull out the sniper and take a score prediction right now, before we do any game preview, before we even know if Ricky's back, which I would expect for this match, I think the Galaxy lose. I think the Galaxy. I think we play Toluca, and I think we lose to Toluca 2-1.
I think we pull a Tottenham, become almost dead last, almost relegation. We win a cup somehow. I
I
guess you
would,
could say Campeones Cup is somewhat like a Europa League 'cause it's not your traditional CONCACAF Champions Cup trophy.
mm,
Saw it as like the secondary European or not European CONCACAF trophy in terms of like importance. So I can well and truly see we pull a Spurs and somehow win it.
I could see it, but I will tell you right now, if that happens, I will be the most insufferable person
Yeah,
on the planet.
people will not hear the end of it.
No, no, nobody will hear the end of it if the Galaxy would wooden spoon and still have a better season. If
It's
like
two trophies, two
yeah,
silverware.
yeah, if LAFC go trophyless this year, if everybody in California besides us goes trophyless this year, and we're the only one who wins a trophy with the two trophies. If we win two trophies with a wooden spoon and a Campeones Cup, I don't care how important they call it. They will never hear the end of it because all I've been hearing this far is about how bad the Galaxy have been from them, and rightfully so because we're terrible. It's hard to defend that, but if we end with more trophies than them, oh, they better fold. They just got to fold at that point. And we're going to be back next year. It is a one-off match, and we're going to be back in regular season contention. Matthias Nascimento's value. If you had to put a price tag on him right now, what's a fair amount for the Galaxy to buy him at?
I think anything under like 2.5 million, 3 million is around something I think is fair price. Obviously, we've only seen him play good for a couple matches, but I think that he will continue to do good and hopefully he stays around that value and hopefully he doesn't exceed that because I feel like 5 million is really pushing it. But if he really pops off the rest of the season, I mean, like, why not? We need a
Right.
9 and he's going to fill that spot. Obviously, with the U22 initiative slot, he's got what 3 more years in him until that goes away. So
Yeah.
those U22 initiative slots are really important. We saw it with Dayon. So if we can get our next Dayon, I don't see why we don't spend some cash on it.
I totally agree with you. I think right now, I think 3 mil is the price tag. If Dejan Joveljic is going for 4, and this guy is not Dejan Joveljic level, anything above 4 or extremely close to 4 would be too much. It depends on the sell-on clause. I think Botafogo will get a sell-on clause on this. And if they get like a 15, 20% sell-on, then you're probably looking at like 2.5, maybe 2 million. For Nascimento. But if it's full 100% of the rights go to the Galaxy, which isn't that common with players at Nascimento's age and his potential, if it's just 100% of the player, I think the Galaxy get him for like 3 million, maybe 3.5 right now. But yeah, if Dejan's going for 4, I think Nascimento is definitely below that. But he's in good form. So I think the Galaxy, I don't know. Okay, follow up on that. What would you put the percent odds that we buy Nascimento at right now?
I think it's got to be around, it's 50-50 right now. Obviously, kind of what I said a second ago, we haven't seen him play consistent games back to back. I guess we have recently, but like we need to see more of it, is what I'm trying to say. We can't just base this off a 2 game like window. We gotta see him do this for like week in, week out for months. And if he can do that, put in the cash. We need a 9, and the new U22 initial slot is something that is vital. And we saw what Dayon could do. This could be our next Dayon, and I really hope it is because, I mean, we need a 9. And with Ricky coming back at the end of the season, this could truly tell what next season is going to look like. If we change it up next season, we're going to only have a preseason with our new 9. And if we only have Nascimento for the rest of the season, obviously, I don't think it'll end well I don't think it'll help us into next season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think if Matthias Nascimento ends up leaving, you're restarting the whole project with a new U22 player, and you're taking another gamble in a year where we've kind of talked about the expectations for 2026 being pretty high for Greg Vanney and company. You give Greg Vanney the long-term contract extension. A lot of people had questions about that. But if you want to silence the critics, if you want to silence the haters, you got to put results on the field. And this season, if you're already, saying it's a wash, if we miss the playoffs next season, then what? Are we looking at 4 of 6 years of Greg Vanney's tenure being missed playoffs? That gets you fired. That
I think,
gets you.
yeah, I think you get sacked if you miss playoffs next season. Obviously, we got some good cap space going into next season. We have Ricky coming back. We have most of our squad coming back. Like, there's no reason why next season we should be in contention for MLS Cup. even Supporter Shield, considering how the summer goes. But like our team next season is going to be up there with one of the best in the league.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. But right now, I put Nascimento the odds probably at like I would say 60. And this is more of a trending thing. I would say it's trending at 60%. And that could go very up or down depending on even the next few games for the LA Galaxy. So, Leagues Cup, is it ours? How far do you think we go in this tournament?
Not very far. I forget who we play. I know we play Santos. Santos isn't the best team in the League MX.
Yeah.
Who else do we play? I can't think off the top of my head, but there's some difficult teams in there if I remember correctly. And I mean, granted, they're all at Dignity Hill Sports Park. We probably pull off a win and like a draw maximum, but I don't see us winning out in the group stage.
We
And
play Club Tijuana, Cruz Azul, and Santos.
Cruz Azul is gonna smack us. We might beat Tijuana, and I think we beat Santos. So it's gonna be it's a tough group, considering it's all League MX teams. We saw what it's like versus Chivas, and those games are it's a whole different ball game to MLS games. It's just straight. It's a lot more fast paced. I feel like if I remember correctly, like I
Yeah.
remember the ball moving back and forth super fast, and that's just how League MX goes. It's just straight counters, and it's fun to watch. I can't lie. And I don't think our team suits well with that right now without Ricky. So it's going to be tough. I don't think we make it far in Leagues Cup.
You said Santos are first right now.
So I think they're pretty low in League MX. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Santos were first. The Galaxy can make it out. I don't know how serious Greg Vanney is going to take it. I'm still deciding in my head what I think Greg Vanney will take it because I think you've seen like last year it was completely thrown out the window. They wanted to lose to Seattle. You don't throw out John McCarthy when Novak Nicevic has been playing as good as he has if you don't want to lose to Seattle. I think we'll make it out of the group stage, but I think we'll lose in the quarterfinals. Ideally, you get a CONCACAF spot. Ideally, this is your way back into CONCACAF for the LA Galaxy. But there's a conversation to be had. Should the Galaxy play CONCACAF next year? If we want to be a serious regular season contender, would you want to play CONCACAF, Tab?
Nope. I mean, I think that we need to be at the pedigree where we should be playing CONCACAF every single year. I
Yeah.
think that's where we belong. That's where we need to be. So I ideally want to be in there, but obviously next season we are coming back with a returning squad, and we're coming back with Ricky. And I think with Ricky, we have the depth to compete in both MLS and CONCACAF at the same time. So I don't see why not.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the Galaxy should compete in CONCACAF. Now, if you want to say that we shouldn't, that's definitely an argument to be had with the injuries that we have, and probably the fact that we played how many matches was it in like a month span? It was like 9 or something. It was ridiculous.
I think it was 7.
Yeah, we played a
It's
lot.
midweek, yeah, and we had to travel to
Yeah.
is it Costa Rica for that in that month, right? Was it that month?
Yeah, we had to go to Costa Rica.
Costa Rica and then Vancouver.
Yeah,
That was quite a trip.
it's so bad. It's so bad for the LA Galaxy to be traveling that much, especially if you want to be serious next year. But maybe we make a run in CONCACAF next year.
Yeah, we saw Vancouver. They also made it to the final, and they're first place in the West, so it's doable. They've beaten the odds. They've kind of set the tone. So if we want to be the top dog, I think we need to be in CONCACAF, and we need to be beating the League MX teams. That's how we earn our respect back, earn our pedigree.
Yeah, and if we win CONCACAF, they're still going to rob us for Inter Miami in the year 2029 for the Club World Cup. They're going to be like, oh, but Miami won another supporter shield. Like I know you guys won CONCACAF, but they got a supporter shield, so we're going to have to give it to 50-year-old Messi at this point. So
I find it a little crazy though. Going on. Oh, there we go. They're playing in the Club World Cup now. I feel like that's pretty cool. Obviously, Sal's a pretty structured team. They kind of the same squad, but like Galaxy in 4 years, it can be completely different.
Oh
And
yeah.
if we win Champions League next season, we have a completely different squad going to Club World Cup, and I find that kind of funny and kind of interesting at the same time.
Yeah, look at the Sounders team when they won it. It's so much different than it is now.
Yeah,
Sounders have a lot of continuity, but like, you know, their huge player is Ladero, and Ladero's not even that good anymore. He's just
sure.
playing kicking for the
Is that
Dynamo.
Houston now? Yeah, Dynamo.
So a lot of things can change. But yeah, they'll still find a way to rob us, even if we win CONCACAF of that spot for Inter Miami. Next question before we go into some other things here. Okay, wait. We'll answer two more. Chances an MLS team wins a game at the FIFA Club World Cup. I think this will happen. I think the chances are like 75%. What do you think?
Yeah, I think obviously Seattle is now winning a game,
Yeah,
and they
no.
got PSG and Atletico coming up. I think LAFC has some African team, so they theoretically have the highest chance, but I
Yeah,
don't want that to happen. And Miami, they got Messi, so anything can happen. They could get the refs calls like they did to get into the tournament. So
yeah.
I think they have a high chance as well. And I hope it's Miami over LAFC because if LAFC wins the Club World Cup match, they're not going to shut up about it. It's going to be annoying.
Oh yeah. No, it'd be brutal for them to be the
Yeah.
first MLS team. I almost want Miami to just peel off a weird upset just so they're
Yeah.
not the first one. Or for them to lose, because that team only lost 2-0, the African one to the Brazilian team. So maybe there's a surprise to be had there. And that'd be funny if they finish dead last, if they gas
Yeah.
up the World Cup to not get a win. They'd just be coping with the participation
You see the
banner.
video of is the LAFC fans at Mercedes-Benz Stadium? They didn't fill up like a section. It was like half a section. They're all like chanting stuff, and you can barely hear them from across the stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, there was nobody at that game. Club
Yeah,
World Cup is not selling.
they look like little ants just jumping around.
Yeah.
It was a little fun, pretty fun.
I think you posted the European champions PSG sold less tickets at the Rose Bowl than the LA Galaxy. So you want to talk about that?
I mean, that post kind of popped off. Yeah, obviously the PSG Atletico game, it got, let me pull up the poster now on my phone, but it got 88,000 or 80,619 tickets sold. And then LA Galaxy LFC, 82,110 tickets sold. So, I mean, what do we say here? I think LA Galaxy is better than PSG, right? That's what we come out from that.
Yeah. No,
Like the lesson learned. Yeah.
wait, if we're using LAFC fan logic, then the LA Galaxy are better than the European champions because we sold
You got it.
bigger fan
Yep.
base. Yeah, that's it. I actually saw a PSG store today right now. I'm in Vegas, but I saw a PSG store at one of these. They had like a PSG shop, like just a specific PSG shop, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
the owner of the shop was talking about. I was wearing my Galaxy shoes. He's talking about the LA Galaxy. He's like, yeah, like he's like FLAFC. So even in Las
Yeah,
Vegas,
everyone knows. Everyone knows.
yeah, even in Las Vegas, everyone knows what's up. Um, we'll answer this right here. Is who do you think's the first player to get traded by the LA Galaxy? Call your shot.
Ouday. I think, like I've like harped on about like multiple times this podcast, these U22 spots are vital to success in this league. And Ouday has been on the bench for every season he's been here except for 2023, and that was our prior, or this is our worst season, but like 2023 is pretty pathetic as well. So I think Ouday, if we want to use all our spots to the highest potential, I think Ouday moves on personally.
Yeah. Okay. I also want to talk about Miki Amane, but he's not getting traded. But Miki Amane has not been good this year. I just wanted to throw that in there. We'll talk about that a bit more. I think it will be. I don't disagree with Ade. I definitely see that. But to go different, I'm gonna go John McCarthy. I think John McCarthy is
That's
money.
good. Yeah.
Carrying forward goalkeepers is not gonna sustain for that like Galaxy. So
Yeah, I think Bray Scott's out as well. Mikovic has been starting the past two games for VCFC. We'll talk about them a little bit later.
Mark
But
J.
yeah, he started the last two games for VCFC.
Yeah, I think JT will end up being the main backup for the LA Galaxy. He's way overqualified to be playing for Ventura County,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So I think John McCarthy gets traded somewhere. Maybe he doesn't because he has a newborn and, kind of like the Bond situation, just kind of wants to stay local. Maybe he goes back to Philly. Who knows? That's where he, grew up. But let's talk about Ventura County, actually. Ventura County, you want to go over this right here, is the fact that Ventura County are first in MLS Next Pro, and the Galaxy are, let me take this off. The Galaxy are last. I had to literally take this off to show the Galaxy's place in the standing. Dead last. A tale of two crazy different stories. You watch Ventura County more than I do. So what can you say about this Ventura County team right now? And furthermore, is there any players who probably deserve to break into the main team right now?
Yeah, obviously Ventura County, they're flying right now. They been doing pretty good on the road and pretty good at home as well. I think it's 29 points right now. That's pretty good. I think they're around the same amount of games as we are in. So I think they're on 15. So they're averaging around 2 points per game, which is just good for MLS Next Pro.
Yeah.
One person that stands out, obviously you got the like Harbor Millers and Ruben Ramos Jr. that have kind of got their stints at Galaxy and have their chances. But to go niche, I feel like Luis Mueller, he's been doing really good. He obviously came from LAFC. He has a couple games under his belt in the MLS through LAFC, and I think he's good. He's a tall guy, big body. He's a winger and can also play at the 9. He's got some good feet. And another player I want to shout out is Tommy Musto. Obviously, he's also an LAFC product, but he's been doing really good as well. He's really technical, and I think he's got a future. Obviously, our midfield's pretty deep right now with Ricky coming back, so the odds of him coming through are pretty low, but I really like to see him play.
Yeah. Just to touch on this a little bit, he's back to his home country. I actually talked to Harbor Miller about this because they posted on their Instagram, they like held the shirt up of him. They acted like he died. I was like, yo, like, is he okay? Is what's going on with him? Because it's something you would see if somebody like was going through something serious, is they would hold up the jersey before the game. And no, he's just going back home. He's just going back home. So when that will happen, never, and he doesn't deserve to because he's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a pity contract. The guy's 29. I don't think he's ever making a first team appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his clickbait title for YouTube, so good for him. I wish him the best all. And yeah, he seems like a great guy though. I can't lie.
He was
He's got
funny.
yeah, he's funny.
He was funny.
I mean, I can't I can't like watch his YouTube videos because they're in German, so I can't understand like what he's talking about. But seems like
No,
a great guy. So hope the
I
best for him.
funny in the way that he's like, I signed for the LA Galaxy. Like, not really. Like, he kind of signed where people like Harbor Miller are kicking ball at, like a 17-year-old over here.
Yeah.
So I'd calm down a little. But whatever gets the views, right? I know people are probably a bit surprised why he didn't play any matches for the main team. But yeah, TikTok boy is not gonna ever play for the LA Galaxy.
Boy, that's Jason Buckner. Like that guy's
Jason
TikTok
Buckner,
famous as well.
hold up. That's
Oh,
how I wanted
what a
to.
segue.
Jason Buckner needs to go up. Miki Amane, you are an Al Shabaab. You. He's so bad. He's so bad. I don't know what happened to Miki Amane this year. Miki Amane is not the man we like. What? Do you want to talk about Miki Amane here?
Yeah, I mean he's a liability when there's a shifty winger. We saw that with Anthony at Portland. We saw this with Pompeu at St. Louis. He struggles against these shifty wingers, and I think it's only a matter of time until I think it's only a matter of time until we see Cuevas starting pretty soon.
Yeah.
He's been getting some minutes off the bench. I think why not start him? The one game he did start versus who did he start against? He even started a game. He got some good minutes in one game, and I thought he looked really good. So I hope he gets some more minutes because Yamane has been doing great.
I will go on a leg to say that Cuevas should be the starter right now. I think until Miki Mane, who I still think he's a great right back, but not right now, not in his form that he's been in. I think Miki Mane needs to take a seat on the bench and calm down a little bit because he's getting torched. He's getting torched.
Yeah.
He's getting cooked out there. They put him on a slow roaster. They're just Miki Amane has not been the man that he was last season. He's a shell of his former self. And the fall off within 1 year has been very surprising to watch from Miki Amane. And I'm somebody who defends him and said that he was the best right back in MLS, which I still believe he was last year. But yeah, I don't think he should be starting over Cuevas. Look at what Cuevas brings to this team for the LA Galaxy. Cuevas brings a lot of aggression going forward. I love his crossing. I think he might have one of the best crosses on this Galaxy squad. His crossing ability is amazing. He's very pinpoint with his passing, and I think he's done better defensively. I think in the minutes he's gotten, he's done better defensively. But Jason Buckner is a very good shout. The super draft pick for the LA Galaxy, TikTok boy. I think he absolutely deserves a shout to call up for the LA Galaxy because he can't be worse than Miki Amane right now. And I hate to be this harsh on Miki Amane because I love him, but you're so Saudi bound. You're so Saudi bound right now. I'm sorry. And yeah, Jason Buckner is very nonchalant. So definitely enjoy watching Buckner ball. I've seen some of his highlights for Ventura County. We got a question here. Do you guys think the first goal could have been prevented? It went through Novak Michovic's legs.
I mean, it was a tight angle. I think Klaus was around like the 6-yard box, so he's obviously pretty close. And Mikovic is trying to make himself big, and sometimes that happens, and it's just unfortunate. And I'm not keeping myself, so I'm not sure like the keeper rules or whatever what you should and shouldn't do. But most of the time, you shouldn't be getting megged. So I guess you could say he could be doing better, but he's also saved us in multiple other chances in that game. So I think he made up for it.
Speaking of Saudi bound, I don't even think Saudi would take Zonka right now because he's so bad. He's also so bad. Look at the first goal. It's all Zonka. I'm not putting the blame on anybody else in this LA Galaxy squad, but the worst center back I've ever watched with my two eyes. And I've watched the 2019 LA Galaxy. I've watched the 2018 LA Galaxy in bits and pieces, is the fact that Zonka, you could start the game down 1-0. If he's starting, you start the game down 1-0. He's that useless. He's horrid. He's so bad to watch for the LA Galaxy. Look, I don't know what Garces did to Greg Vanny, but he needs to be starting. And I know he's made some boneheaded decisions. I know the San Diego game, the reason why we lost that match was all on Amiro Garces. Both times, Garces has been boneheaded. But Zonka is the worst defender I've seen with my two eyes. My eyes bleed when I watch Zonka play, and I'm sick of watching him play, actually. So Amiro Garces, regardless of him being boneheaded at times, needs to be back in the squad for the LA Galaxy because I can't do it. I can't watch Zonka ball much longer. I don't know how much longer I have. Maybe China can hit his line. Maybe he's a Shanghai Shark because this is ridiculous at this point.
I think this game was one of Zonka's better games. Obviously, that says something because he was still pretty trash.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, he's definitely been doing better, but he started off really bad. So, I mean, you have to be doing better. You start rock bottom, you can only go up. So,
you would think.
Yeah. Consider this Galaxy, rock bottom always is a trap door. We keep falling. Yeah. But in Zonka's case, I think he has been getting better. I'll give him that credit.
It's been absolutely terrible to watch. And Novak Mitrovic, obviously, I don't really blame him for that, if I'm being quite honest. But speaking of things getting worse for the LA Galaxy and opening a trapdoor to something even worse, the LA Galaxy, we're going to talk about this a bit here, is the content creator statement. Obviously, if you watched the match against St. Louis and was keeping up on Instagram at the same time, there wasn't much to keep up with, because all of these content creators listed below, Galactic Zone, Talking Galaxy, myself, Memes, Galaxy, Shite Post, The Galaxy Lad, Talk Galaxy, Insider Galaxy, Galaxy Central, Jody PSD, even though he doesn't post anyway, and yourself all signed off on this, all signed off on this statement. And I'm not going to go that far, Samuel in the chat. But the LA Galaxy have not posted about what is going on in Los Angeles right now. And I'm not trying to use this platform to be political, although I think politics are going to be a part of sports forever. So I think that's unavoidable. But I think this isn't a left or right thing. I think it is a right or wrong thing. And I think you have to stand for what's right. And the ICE occupation and protest of Los Angeles, we decided to not post for this match. And I think it's a statement that the club, and let's be very honest here, let's be very sincere, is that the LA Galaxy are not alone in this. The LA Dodgers, the Lakers, the Galaxy themselves, and I believe the Kings, most AEG owned organizations are, they're the shareholders, they're the owners. So they're going to be like, hey, don't say anything on this. Don't say anything on this, which has become a PR nightmare, rightfully so, for the LA Galaxy. There is a lot of connections. If you've been keeping up with my page, my friend Stefan Chorizo Condraco keeps up to date a lot with what's going on in Los Angeles and where to be aware of where ICE is right now. Let's be very clear, is that this is unacceptable, and it's tearing apart families and communities in Los Angeles. And as supporters of the LA Galaxy and having the platform we have, I think, it's a very important thing to make sure that you uphold a moral standard with your platform. And that's what we were doing here, is upholding a moral standard, is that the LA Galaxy needs to stand with its supporters. I've seen a lot of people say that, like, hey, this isn't going to change what's going on. We all understand this. We all understand that the Galaxy putting out a statement isn't going to change the severe situation that's going on in Los Angeles right now, but it shows that they have their supporters' backs. And I think that's very important. And Tab, anything you want to say in this regard?
Yeah, just to kind of central in on the kind of second paragraph where they be holding the what's it, like the nights where they celebrate these like histories of these nations, and then not to go out and put out a statement, I think it's two-faced. It's I'm trying to think the right word here, but like, you can't do it because it's convenient to, this will bring in the tickets, this is what will bring people in to watch the games. Like, you can't be doing that and then not put out a statement like this. So it's almost like we're just we kind of are, we're just numbers to them, and this kind of proves that point, which is unfortunate because so many people put their heart and soul into this club, and this is how people get treated. So it's sad.
Yeah. And that, it's very important that you say that, is the fact that there's Heritage Nights in July coming up with the LA Galaxy. There's 2 Heritage Nights. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything when they don't back the community when it matters. Like you said, when it's convenient to fill their pockets, they will host Heritage Nights. They'll get the money from, the diversity that our club has. They'll take all the money from the diversity, but when it becomes time to stand behind that diversity, the Galaxy are nowhere to be seen. And that's very disappointing. It's very disappointing. And once again, we want to reiterate that this is not a political thing. This is not, there is a lot of things where politics come into sports, and it's always going to be that way. But I see this more as a right or wrong thing. This is a moral thing. And it's not right to be tearing apart communities and threatening the livelihoods of the people. And the people who really built Los Angeles, if we're being honest. Los Angeles was built on diversity, is built on this culture, and it was built, on the backs of immigrant laborers, immigrant families. That's where the culture derives from. And that's why we have nights to celebrate it. But it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel authentic when the LA Galaxy don't stand behind their communities. So it's inexcusable. It's inexcusable from the club. And I don't think anything will come out. I don't think anything will come from this, unfortunately. But it's showing that most of the fans, I'll say most of the fans' morals do not align with the front office's morals, and what they put their money and, mine's behind, is not this. And they're receiving a lot of backlash, rightfully so, for it. Let's be honest. And the backlash they're getting is very well deserved. And we, as content creators, want to use our platform to support and uplift communities that are going through the worst imaginable times right now. So, prayers for everyone in Los Angeles. And if you see ICE presence, make sure to report it. There's, I'll post it on my Instagram story after this. There's like lines and there's websites that you can use to report these type of things that are going on to keep other people safe. But it is a PR disaster class for the LA Galaxy, as it is the Dodgers. The Dodgers are receiving a lot of flack for this as well. But yeah, the liking the anti-pride comment was not great by the LA Galaxy either.
Yeah, I kind of threw him under the butt. I put that on blast.
Yeah, the Galaxy never like anything. The Galaxy never like any comments. So for that to be the one that they like is like, I get that it was probably a mistake. But that's a very unfortunate one if it happened to just be a mistake, because they never like comments, even accidentally. So I guess the final thing to touch on this is, what do you think about the relationship between the front office and fans? Because you saw in 2023, for different reasons, obviously, the relationship was very broken. They were on two different levels, the supporters and the front office. 2024, the front office and the fans got closer in terms of relationship and connectedness to the club. That's why you have things such as the fan council. I think the fan council was a brilliant idea from the LA Galaxy. You have Will Kuntz speaking out, even when the times are as tough as it is for the LA Galaxy as right now. He's on podcasts. Tom Braun's face is all around games. These people are not going into hiding like Chris Klein was, but this fractures relationships. And I just wanted to see if you wanted to touch on that, the evolution.
Yeah, definitely with the Klein era, there was a very big separation between the fan base and the front office, and that kind of got amended back together kind of when Will Kuntz came in. And then now it kind of put a dent in what we kind of had from last season, kind of left a sour taste in our mouth. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, see if they put out anything, because I know they said they're going to be working behind the scenes to try to get stuff out to get people help.
Yeah.
But they're doing it behind the scenes. They're not going to do anything publicly. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure stuff will come out about what they're doing, and then we'll be posting about it. So
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to see. It's going to have to play it by ear and see what happens.
Yeah, the LA Galaxy, reportedly are working behind the scenes to, support the community. And to the extent, we're not sure, but let's hope that they're doing the right thing in this case. But the right thing would be to also put out a statement, as is the Dodgers. You could hold almost every single LA team accountable for this. The two teams I've seen put out a statement for sure, correct me if I'm wrong, are Angel City FC and LAFC. Yeah. So, it's just not a good look on the LA Galaxy right now as an organization and Los Angeles, and kind of reiterates the fact that maybe some of these organizations feel a bit scared to, openly go out and support something like this. They feel scared to do so more than they even did during the BLM movement, because the Galaxy put out something, as did almost every LA team during the BLM movement. And the protests that are going on in 2020, they supported that. They supported their community. But come 2025, times are different. Times are different for the LA Galaxy, and it's important to note that. But it is embarrassing from the LA Galaxy. And that's anything else you want to say on that topic, Tab?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah. And now we're going to open this final segment up to questions from the chat. It could be about anything. Make sure to hit our. By the way, on this little statement right here, if you read it, I thought it was pretty clear that this was for Saturday's match against St. Louis and that blackout day. So posting after the match and talking about it on a podcast is much different than blocking it out on that day, which is what we said we were going to do in that statement. So if you see posts about the St. Louis match now, yeah, it's there. Sorry.
It says it right there. I can point at right now. It says
Yeah.
tomorrow's match. It doesn't say it leads into the next day or anything. So
Yeah, you know,
some people just interpret things wrong. And
we got to hit you with the Will Smith thing. You know, the thing that zaps your memory, so you forgot that ever happened. We'll just never talk about that match again if that's that's what the people want. Let's see. Do you think there will be more This is a good question. I actually think I had a graphic that I missed. Is the fact that no, I didn't. Oh, I didn't have it here. But the LA Galaxy supporters will not be traveling to San Jose. They'll not be traveling to San Jose out of protest from what the LA Galaxy are doing. That game's always packed with Galaxy fans. It's a whole thing. They take bus trips up there.
I went to that game.
Happening. Yeah.
So. Yeah, that game's always fun. I went last season to Stanford Stadium.
Yeah.
I wasn't with the supporters. I was on like the other side, but you can see them, and their support, the Galaxy support section, they took up like the corner section pretty much.
Yeah.
They had more people in that section than San Jose Ultras in their little tiny section behind the goal. So there's levels to this.
Those are terrible, man. Like they don't even have anybody there. They came up to the like you'd have thought they were the ones in a protest when they came down here because there was nobody.
Yeah.
There's like 10 of them. Will there be protests at the home game? Do you think?
I'm sure people won't be showing up just out of like just because what's happening. I'm sure there will be ice around the stadium, I'm guessing, because there's been for the Club World Cup games, and obviously the LA community, they're going to be targeting it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's happening, which will definitely lower attendance. And I would expect a tifo from HCB or something. I'm sure they'll have something up their sleeve because, yeah.
I think there will for sure be something. I don't think there's a universe where this match plays out and there is no form of protest from Angel City Brigade or the, or Lars or Victoria Block as a whole, or Lars. There will be something. There will be something. I'm very sure of it. I'm like 95% sure. Don't quote me on it, but I'm 95% sure that there will be something. In fact, maybe they won't chant the whole match. That could definitely be something, or for a certain amount of time, could definitely be in play for the Galaxy supporters. It could be 90 minutes of silence for sure. I would definitely see that being the Galaxy supporters might end up doing that, and I would support that. But how soon will Ricky come back? I saw him dancing at the Kendrick concert. I'm not quite sure if that was a thing. But how soon will Ricky come back?
I haven't really got a timetable.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it'll be end of summer, so August time. So it'll definitely be in time for Campeones Cup. So that's gonna be our best chance at silver this year. So having him back for that will be pretty big for us. So I mean, that's all we really need him for. I think we'll know if we're out of playoff contention by then, but time he gets back already. So we should back for Campeones Cup because that's our only chance at a trophy this year, I believe.
I think Ricky will probably come back in early to mid September. But I think he will start training next month. I think we'll start seeing some stuff ramping up to Ricky starting to train. He will start out individually, and once he starts training, let's not get too excited that he's going to be back immediately, because he won't be back for a very long time. Even when he starts training, it's still going to put him well over a month out, probably a month and a half out from when he starts training, which I would expect to be maybe mid-July. So I would say probably September is about right for Ricky to come back. I don't think it'll be August, and obviously not July, or he'd already be on the field practicing, and that was just never going to happen. Let's see. Oh, I had one more graphic. That will be it for questions for the night. But I had one more graphic. Is that the LA Galaxy would need to average 2.31 points per game to reach an estimated play-in threshold of 45 points, which is where we about expect the play-in margin to be. No team in MLS history has done this. Over any 16-game span in MLS history, no team's done this. What's your thoughts? What's going to? Is it over?
It might well and truly be over. We'd have to, one, luck be on our side, for scoring goals and game results in our way. And then we also have to hope some results don't go in favor of the teams around the playoff zone. Obviously, if we won this game, this would have massively helped us because St. Louis is second to last. So if we just pulled through this game, our odds would have been so much better. But we had to throw it away in the 90th minute. So it's unfortunate, but considering the points per game we need, I think mathematically it's not looking very likely.
I think it's over. I didn't realize that it was this over, but it's over. I thought at least one team would have done this. In any 16-game span, nobody's done this. And the LA Galaxy have proven that they are not capable to do this. And that being said, we will not reach a play-in game. It's mathematically not eliminated, but once you start to do advanced mathematics, yeah, we're eliminated pretty much at this point, unless the Galaxy go on a run that has never been seen before in MLS history. And if you truly believe that's going to happen, I want what you're having, some sort of because that is it's not happening. It's just possibilities. I think you should probably go out and buy a lottery ticket before you bet on the Galaxy to make the playoffs here. Probably get a lottery ticket because this is not going to be something that happens for the LA Galaxy. We're talking Inter Miami, who broke the points record last year, who shattered the points record, did not reach this margin in any 16-game span. Why would we do it? I hope so. I think we will string together wins. I think we'll get if you tell me that we're going to be on like 16 points at the end of the season, there's no way. The Galaxy will be probably in the low 30s to late 20s points, in my opinion, but it will not be playoffs, and it will be near last in the league, I believe. So I think well and truly it is over for the LA Galaxy. That being said, we will still be here to cover it through all of it. We will be
Always.
Here. Always. Where can they find you, Tab?
Galaxy Runs LA over on Instagram, TikTok, and X.
As for myself, I am Payan or LA Galaxy _Buzz or Florian Wirtz-Pong on TikTok. And thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're here. And we will see you next Tuesday for a Colorado preview.